So listen, we have one of our speakers, another amazing speaker that's coming to the stage. He has been featured on Tapped In magazine. And I know I got one of them out here around him. So you can't find it, that's okay. But he's been featured on Tapped In magazine. Go to Tapped In, TAPIE magazine.org, and you can check out his story. But he's gonna come and take the stage. Mr. Jose, he's gonna come and take the stage for just a few minutes, and he's gonna tell us a little bit about who he is, what he's doing. Yeah, he has an incredible story that you know what? I want him to be able to share. So come on up, Mr. Jose.
By the way, I was not supposed to speak today, but she paid me. I told her that I'm like the Boy Scout, always ready. Well, my name is Jose Pereira, and I want to tell a little bit of story, but I want to begin with a reflection. Have you ever gone to any event in your life that had transformed your life forever, and before and after? Raise your hand. Well, I have a story, but I'm going to begin with my childhood because I'm Venezuelan born. I'm Venezuelan born, and everything is going on today with the immigrants. So I came here to the U.S. not like a typical immigrant because I come from a family that they are oil and gas workers. My dad was working here in the U.S. I grew up here in the U.S. I flew to Venezuela when I was a kid and continued my youth there. And I did my career and began to work in the oil and gas. And I did all the climbing in the corporate ladder. So when I came here to the US, I came in as an expat. So I didn't come here like a typical immigrant. And I came here, continued my career. And at the end of the career, I became the CEO of the company. That's a good story. I became the CEO of the company in 2017. And I was ready to get retired. So I was in the pinnacle of my career, and something happened that changed my life forever. So I was in a movie, received a phone call, and I was supposed to go to the other day to go to make a presentation in Caracas, Venezuela. I flew to Venezuela, and that day we became hostage of the Venezuelan government. We were accused to be American spies, and we stayed 5 years in a war, the jail dungeon, one of the worst of the world. So we became political prisoners. And it took 5 years a release. So I was thinking what to talk today. And I'm going to talk about my first year. My first year, I was in a solitary confinement. Have you ever thought being 1 year in a solitary confinement? So all the things I had time to think. All my life went through all the day long thinking 24/7, the lights turn on. So I began to revisit the movie of my life. And I began to see all the wrong things that I did in my life. Because that was a testing that I was going through. And I found that I had abandoned my family, I have abandoned my faith, I have abandoned my friends because I was so focused in the corporate world that I had abandoned everything. And at some point, I was having suicidal thoughts because, I was in a communist regime accused to being a spy. Wow. What is the probability that I go out? So I began to think to take my life up. But always comes God. I began to think in my family, and one day, after almost 1 year, one day they opened the door and say, "Hey, dress up that you have a visit." It was my wife. My wife took the risk to go there and visit me, and I had a 3 hours talk with her. And that's when I realized that they were fighting hard to bring us back. So when I came back from that call, it changed everything because now I was having something. It's called hope. I was having hope. And then the thing began to change because it came something to me that you mentioned that is the change in the mindset. I did a shift in my mindset. The day I decided to change the mindset, everything changed. And then the situation began to evolve. And after 1 year, because we were 6 guys, we became the Six Go Six. If you Google, you will find it. We were 6 executives. We were put together after 1 year. I saw my colleagues 1 year after. And the day we met, we felt like we were like in a boardroom. And we created a survival plan because now we are together. So now I'm having mindset change. I'm having more positive thoughts. And then I found something that for me is incredible. We were 6 guys there with more than 30 years married. What is the probability that 6 guys choosing randomly are putting together and all of them have 30 plus year marriage? Only God can do. So literally we were like in a social lab. We were like in a retreat. It was a big retreat, by the way. I don't want to repeat that. But but now we are together and we begin to create that bond. And this is what you have to do in your life or in your business. Connect. You have to connect. And we begin to connect and we create a survival plan. And we begin to do routine. But one of the most important routine we did is we came back to our spirituality. We came back to God. So now I'm reading the Bible, I'm praying, I'm literally studying the Bible, and I could revisit Paul, Job, Daniel, Joseph. I'm Joseph. Joseph in the prison. That's me. That's me. So things begin to change. And that's how God operates. That's a miracle. Because when I came back after 5 years, I could come back through a prisoner swap. But before I came, I have an episode that happened to me. That 1 year after, before we came, we received a visit of the person that finally released us, the ambassador Royal Calvin. He did a personal visit. The day we had a visit with him, when he finished, I said, Ambassador, we're gone. I don't know when, but we're gone. So I called my wife. I had more communication at that time and asked her to bring me a small carry-on. I asked her to bring me a small carry-on. And the person that was taking care of the logistics, that Saturday bring me the carry-on. And she told me why. Because I'm going to have it because I'm going to go back. And she brought it with some clothes there. Every morning, I put it in a corner. I talk to it. I told it, say, be prepared because you're going to go. Every morning, I did it 1 year. And 1 year after, he came back with me. I have it in my house, that carry. So this is what is faith. This is what is the faith. Because I didn't know when, but I believed that I was coming back. And this is something that today I tell to anybody. You have to have change in your mindset. You have to have a positive thought, even in the darkest moment. You have to stick to the people that love you. You have to take care of yourself, and you have to get connected to your spirituality. These are the 5 fundamentals of my coaching program that I have today. I have a coaching program called the Unbreakable Leadership Spirit, where I talk about this because one of the things that today I teach is how you regain balance between your business success and your personal fulfillment. Because I experienced that in a bad way. So you don't have to go through that. So anybody that's hearing this, you don't have to go through that process. That's what I do. Because one of the big things that people do when you're in a leadership position is very typical. You become hostage of your situation. You become a hostage of your belief. You isolate yourself. When you're climbing in the corporate ladder, because that happened to me, you create a shield and you are alone. And you had to go back to God, your spirituality. This is a big lesson I learned. Today I do my church service. I serve in several services in my church. And I have my coaching program. I created my own podcast called Building Resilience. I wrote my book. It became an international bestseller, and it won an international award as the best memoir 2025. I have it in Amazon. It's called From Zero to Billion. And I am speaker. I'm a speaker. I'm speaking in college and universities, and I'm spreading that message of God. So for me today, this became a calling. How I went through this situation and how I can help others through my testimony. So this is my speech to you. If anybody wants to connect, my webpage is joseconnect.com. Very easy. Jose Connect. Because this is what my work is connection. So I'm Connect. Thank you.